Here we go, episode 138 of the Hardline Sports Talk. Michael Merlo, John Michael Masiri, here with you, JM. It is finally that time. It's August 8th. That's it. We're full-blown into this football season. Preseason games on tonight.
Yep.
Drew Lock didn't play well. The world's ending in Giant Land.
Yep.
And Joe Milton looks like he's going to be the next Tom Brady, according to people in New England. So that's not good for you, though.
Yes.
That's not good for you.
No, the training camp propaganda is in full swing. The overreactions. Now is a really, really bad time to be on Twitter, especially, I'm not going to lie, I've seen more Giants Twitter stuff than Jets. I don't know why. It's just like, I guess that's what Twitter is recommending to me right now, but some of the stuff I'm seeing, dude, is freaking absurd. I mean, the overreactions are just insane. Yeah, I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time to get excited about football. Started my fantasy football prep yesterday.
I did too.
After discovering what pick I had, now I'm finally, doing my research.
I didn't want to start. I feel like everybody started a little too early last year.
Oh, yeah. I started in like the last week of June.
That's crazy.
It was ridiculous.
And you did, I don't know if you said it on here or off camera, but you did tell me you were going to chill it out this year.
I did a really good job.
You said, I'm not going crazy.
Yep.
But when I get the pick, that's when I'll start.
Because, like I said, I got to a point where, like, okay, I did enough research, and now it just turned into, like, over-researching, like, second-guessing yourself and this and that. Like, you don't.
I can't get into it for that long. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much.
Well, that's the thing. I did get a little burnt out, too.
So by the time September, or the first week of September comes around, you have your draft. It's like, first of all, you're stressed out because of how much time you've put in, and you have to get it right. You had a good year last year, didn't you?
I actually ended up missing the playoffs, but I was the last one not in.
Okay. And the other
First one out.
In the other league, you did well.
The other league, I did well. Yes.
You always did well in that league.
Yeah.
Now you're out of that league.
Now I'm out of that league. Yeah, I decided to give it. I was like playing Madden on rookie difficulty.
Wow.
I had to step it up.
Lots to get to today. Brandon Aiyuk he's at camp. It's not like really a holdout, but I mean, it seems as though he's going to be traded. We're going to talk about that. We're going to open with that before we get to all this with the CeeDee Lamb and what are the Cowboys doing, the Eagles. I cannot believe Nick Sirianni is still the coach of that team. We'll get to that in a little bit as well. And a little baseball to round out the show and a nice trivia segment we got. But before we start all that, make sure we appreciate the support. You're liking and subscribing on YouTube to our channel. Love the support there on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like us, rate us, feedback, leave comments, everything, and on social media, of course. It's always fun interacting with people.
I got to look up, or I shouldn't be doing it. You should really be doing it. We're coming up on football season here, and you still haven't completed your punishment for the 3 stars from last year.
I haven't. Is the WNBA season still going on?
I think it is, yeah.
Are we getting to the playoffs soon?
I think we're getting close to it, so you better hurry up because those ticket prices are going up, dude.
I'm going to be going to a Liberty playoff game.
Yeah, they're playing.
They're playing still.
I think they're on break right now.
How much of a break? I feel like they are.
Oh my, yeah. The All-Star game was on the 20th. They don't play again until the 15th, August 15th. So basically a month off.
No, that's really good. When there's absolutely nothing going on besides for baseball.
Yeah, take it off.
Take a 4-week break.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a really good idea from the WNBA to try and get more viewers.
Next Sunday, the LA Sparks are coming to town. Mike, why don't you go? Oh, hold on, that's the wrong team. Never mind.
You got to know. You got to know the Liberty. What's
Tuesday,
that
next Tuesday night. Who's Dallas? The Liberty are insane.
We're really good.
They're 21-4.
We are really good. The Dallas what?
Let's relax. Dallas Wings.
All right, I'm about to go look that up.
Let's look at the tickets right now.
No, I'll look it up on my ticket app.
No, I got you right here. Ticketmaster. Let's see. We got to get you good seats, of course. You want us at VIP, dude?
What's VIP look like?
VIP's $417.
No, all right. Well, let's
all right, you could get in the building for $29.
And I'll sneak my way down.
These
games have been packed.
They have been. I mean, if they're 21-4,
people are locked in on the New York Liberty.
Yeah. Well, you got bailed because the WNBA has been relevant for like 30 years, and this is the year finally now. It's in the news.
Yeah, but they take a month off when nothing's going on. That is actually
that's absurd. I don't know who's in charge of the marketing plan over there, but we gotta figure it out.
The WNBA. All right, I gotta go pay this bet. This is bad.
Yep.
This is bad.
It's a bad look on your character if you don't.
I'm going to be going to Brooklyn alone at night.
Yes.
In the middle of the week.
You act like you're going into the middle of, Brownsville in Brooklyn, which is, by the way, a very dangerous part of Brooklyn.
Have you ever been there?
I have. I've driven through.
Is it close to?
I don't know. I don't want to.
Is it close to the Barclays Center?
No.
It's not nice out there. I mean, you make it seem like it's South Massapequa.
No, you'll be good.
It's not nice out there.
It's not. I mean, I have a very dear friend of mine from Brooklyn. He's in a nice area. It's not Massapequa.
Nothing is Massapequa.
I mean, Massapequa's.
Either way.
Yeah.
Enough about us.
Yeah.
How about Brandon Aiyuk? So, Jam, for the last 3 days, my mindset on Brandon Aiyuk was, why don't the 49ers want him? Or why won't they get to the level I guess he's asking for? Because they have the cap space to get something done.
Yeah.
They're not paying Purdy much money. They did just extend McCaffrey. Not extend, they gave him a raise. So I'm sitting here saying, why wouldn't they pay him? You look at advanced stats, they'll tell you that Brandon Aiyuk had a top 5 season out of any wide receiver last year.
Yep.
I mean, he is very highly rated in almost every ranking in terms of wide receivers. And then you look at the big question mark that the 49ers have right now. And the reason why he's not the top priority. And that's because Trent Williams is not even at camp right now. And he wants a new contract.
Yeah. I mean, there's different levels of priorities. We've talked about this a million times. And you love, quarterback, head coach, left tackle. You got all that figured out. You're in good shape. So they got the quarterback figured out. I think we could both agree on that. And that might be a hot take to some people. But, argue with a wall.
Yeah.
They got the head coach figured out.
100%.
The left tackle is maybe the best out of all three of those, So they obviously need to get that sorted out. So when it comes to that number one wide receiver, I think it's safe to say that Debo can fill that role. He's done it before. Now, can he stay healthy? That's a big question mark. Obviously, we know McCaffrey's a weapon. We know George Kittle's a weapon. And we know that this offense can kind of, take the best out of it could bring the best out of players. And they just added Pearsall in the end of the first round in this year's draft. So I think they were obviously bracing for this situation by drafting Pearsall. They still have Jawan Jennings. I think they're kind of saying, all right, you want that money? We could survive without you. We really don't need you.
Right. And they're a run-first team, right? The offense goes through the offensive line and the run game and McCaffrey, and that's what Shanahan likes to do, and that's not taking any credit away from how good Purdy is. We're both on, I think we both agree on how good Brock Purdy is.
Yes.
Like, we both like him, and I like him a lot. Now, he obviously benefits from having one of the best, if not the best, offensive coach, probably the second best offensive coach in the entire league, but they're a run-first team, and they need to get left tackle fixed, and they will. And Trent Williams will be back.
Yeah. And the rest of that offensive line isn't that great. It wasn't last year.
Yeah.
I mean, after they lost McGlinchey, and they've lost some guys over the past couple of years, and McGlinchey's been terrible in Denver, but it's kind of known that the 49ers have this great system, and especially for offensive linemen, they kind of bring the best out of them, but offensive line is an issue outside of Trent Williams for them, and it could get worse, obviously, if they miss it.
And you mentioned Pearsall. They could have drafted an offensive lineman at the back end of that first round. And they were like, no, we like this kid from
in a pretty deep class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could have easily drafted, the potential replacement for Williams, and he plays on the right side this year.
Well, I mean, you talk about, all right, they have the cap space now, but after all these QB contracts that are getting thrown out there and the resetting the market, Purdy's going into year 3 now. After year 3, you don't think his agent's going to come knocking on the door and say, we want a big extension?
How about this conversation? Ready for this? What? We'll have this conversation 2 years early. You think Shanahan says, I'll go draft another kid in the 4th round, and he'll run my system perfectly? Is that not something that he would do?
I don't. First of all, I don't think, as smart as that guy is, I don't think he's, just unlocked this hack where you could put anybody in the system. And that is the point, what we used to defend Brock Purdy to say, well, Trey Lance couldn't do it, so why? And Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't do it to the level that Brock Purdy can.
But he had Garoppolo winning games in the postseason.
He had Garoppolo, yes. They both got to the same exact destination, but there's no denying that the level of quarterback play with Garoppolo versus with Purdy, it's been much better with Purdy. Even at the peak, Like Jimmy Garoppolo was never seriously in MVP conversations. That'd be really arrogant of him to do.
That's a fascinating conversation because we're talking about now taking assets from other positions, right? Their defense is loaded. They pay Bosa a ton of money. Same thing. They have the ability to pay McCaffrey $19 million a year. They have the ability to, if Trent Williams wants $30 million for the next 2 years, guess what? He gets that $30 million a year.
Yeah.
He's going to get that. If that's what the agent says he wants, okay. That's a fascinating conversation because we're talking about Brock Purdy, and I like Purdy. I'm a Purdy defender, but I'm going to sound like I'm contradicting myself. Would you pay Purdy? And this maybe is on a low end, $45 million for the next 4 years.
I was about to say, I think it's way more than that. If he has another year where he throws 30-plus touchdowns, takes care of the ball, and the 49ers win 12, 13, 14 games, he's going to be asking for $55 million.
Do you think they win 12 or 13 games again this year?
Yeah.
You think they do?
I mean, I don't know. Like, we'd have to go through their schedule and that whole thing, but, like, it's hard to imagine them not doing it.
What do you think of the Rams? Like, can the Rams...
The Rams are really... I'm actually glad you brought them up because in doing the fantasy football prep that I've been doing recently, obviously, you got to look at Puka, you got to look at Cooper. That's a really unique situation on the offensive side of the ball because Nakua seemed to, like, take over that offense last year, and Cooper Kupp came back, and, he had a couple weeks where he was like, oh, maybe old Cooper Kupp is back, but Puka sort of took the reins. So... now going into the next year, they draft Blake Corum to go along with Kyron Williams, who had a great season last year. The offense was good. They lose Raheem Morris. They obviously, the big thing, they lose Aaron Donald. How's that defense going to look? They, to me, are like a 49ers light. Like, I think they are just such a well-coached team and a great system, and they maximize, and I'm just talking about the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side is a story for another day. I think McVay, just like Shanahan, is known more for his offense, and obviously the Rams don't have the defensive talent that the 49ers have. But you can't count those guys out. I don't know to go to the extent to say they'd win the division. I think the Niners would have to have a pretty disastrous season for their standards for that to happen, but I could totally see the Rams getting the first wild card, the second wild card.
I definitely like the Rams to make the playoffs. They're an interesting team. I think, again, as much as we like Purdy, like we both also respect and like Matt Stafford. And just we know his greatness, and with those receivers and with Sean McVay, he's taken to another level, and we've seen that since he's gotten there.
Isn't it amazing how Stafford has gone from underrated in his career to he's probably a little overrated right now?
You think he's a little overrated?
I think he's a great quarterback, but now, like, that he's got the ring and he had that great season with the Rams and they made it last year, like, your boy Colin Cowherd's putting him as the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Like, that is aggressive. I think he's for a surefire top 10 quarterback, but now, I mean, we're throwing out some big rankings for him.
He's coming off the injury, obviously, in 22 into last season. Started 15 games. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't great last season by any stretch of the imagination. He was great in 21 when they won the Super. He was great. Yeah. 41 touchdowns, led the league in picks. I don't really give a rat's ass. Is he a top? I don't know. It's tough.
All right.
I mean, he's not top 5. Okay.
He's not top 5.
He's not top 5.
No.
Is he 8 or 9?
Oh, yeah,
Definitely.
100%.
Who's top 5?
Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar,
Herbert.
Yeah. I don't know if I just surefire give it to Herbert.
You think Love's in there or Stroud?
I'm not gonna.
I love Jordan Love. I
can't put him there yet.
What we saw from him last season was incredible, and he got obviously paid like it was over a 2-year period. What we saw from Love.
Yeah.
But I want to put him there. I want to be early on it, but I'm not.
You're gonna kind of hate this, but I think Dak deserves to be thrown into that too.
Wow. You got.
I can't wait. We're gonna talk about them in a little bit. I can't wait to talk about Dak because oh boy, we're talking about quarterback contracts and all that stuff. That's some juicy stuff over there.
Back to the 49ers, though. It's a fascinating situation. Now, where does he go, right? The report was that Aiyuk had an offer from the Patriots that they had agreed to a trade. When this happens, it's the teams agree to a framework of a trade, and then the player negotiates a contract. I learned this from Hard Knocks with the Giants, where the Giants have the ability to negotiate with Burns when the trade is agreed upon with the Panthers, and that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. They agree. Like the contract they were offering him was like $32 million a year, and he was just not interested in going to New England.
Well, this is the part that confuses me. Like, a guy like Brandon Aiyuk, you play for one of the best teams in the NFL. You've gone to the Super Bowl with them. They've gone to the Super Bowl the past two out of the past 5-6 years, whatever it's been. And you instead say, you know what? I got to take care of myself. I want to take care of my family, whatever reasons he wants to say. I want to get paid. And they don't want to pay him the full amount that he wants to get paid. So then a team like the Patriots steps in, who obviously, don't have plans of competing in 2024. They're in the middle of a rebuild. And they say, you know what? We want to make you the superstar of this offense. We're going to give you $32 million, which is is that the highest AAV in the league or close to it?
Very close to it.
And you say, yeah, nah, I'm good. So, like, what are you just trying to find that happy medium? Are you getting too greedy now where you're trying to say, I want to get paid and I want to play for a contender? Yeah. At that point, I mean, is Pittsburgh the way to go? I mean, do we really think Pittsburgh with Brandon Aiyuk and a QB competition of either Fields or Wilson is going to be a Super Bowl contending team?
No, and Aiyuk, for the Steelers, like, you draft receivers so well.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to pay a receiver.
It doesn't really go with the identity of that team anyways.
That I still don't believe, even though you hear all these reports that he might be going to Pittsburgh. I don't believe that. Right. Cleveland was interesting because they were offering Amari Cooper.
Right.
That was an interesting scenario. Is it that much of an upgrade? Plus, you're paying him more.
Right.
That's a tough situation.
They're like teetering on like the Padres of the NFL, the Browns, if they are to make that deal. Like they're going a little too crazy with all these trades and this and that.
They're aggressive with the trades. They're aggressive with the contracts. Yep. We saw
they've had some success,
but not the ultimate success.
They haven't gotten close. And we've thought they were going to go in one direction. They switched. They pivoted. They went in a different. We thought Baker was going to be the guy. They pivoted.
Yes.
Watson's the guy.
They've tried so many different.
They tried
things.
Odell. I mean, I'm going back to 2016, 2017, whatever. What year did they trade for Odell? 2019.
Oh no!
Right, because Odell got drafted in 14 from the Giants.
I think earlier.
18.
Yeah.
18 sounds right. Traded for Odell, we'll just say 18. That sounds about right.
18, 19.
Traded for Odell back in 18. Then they get Baker. They give him Jarvis Landry and Odell. Then they pivot from Odell doesn't work out. They pivot from Baker. They go trade for Deshaun Watson. They bring Watson in. They get Amari Cooper. They trade for Elijah Moore. Watson looks like crap. Joe Flacco comes in. All right, what's the deal? Is Watson just going to get phased out here? Are they going to look for another guy? What not?
What a comparison.
Watson stays. Now they go trade for Jerry Jeudy. And now they're pondering trading for Brandon Aiyuk.
What a comparison. And the Padres, Soto, all the pitchers they've signed.
And they've stayed relevant. It's not like the Padres have sucked. Like, we're not talking about the Angels. Like, the Padres have stayed in it, and they eliminated your precious Mets
2 years ago, yeah.
But they can't get there. And they kind of seem like they can't find a process that works.
Were they in the playoffs last year?
They were not in the playoffs last year.
They're ultra aggressive. They're radical at times, and that you could say the same. And remember, they gave Tatis that contract, and people were pissed about that contract. They reset the market for young star players and for shortstops.
Yep.
And same thing with Deshaun Watson. They gave him a fully guaranteed contract without looking at the character issues.
Yep. And then Tatis, that was before his PED suspension. So you got a guy
and then falling off the motorcycle and breaking his wrist.
Yep.
Wow. Jam.
That's nice out of me, Mike. I appreciate it.
That was good.
Thank you.
So we'll see that's crazy. Who else could he be traded to?
Well, the other option was like the dark horse that I'm forgetting right now. We covered Cleveland, we covered Pittsburgh, we covered New England.
There's one more team.
There's one more team.
And I'm blanking on them.
So am I. It's not anybody in the East, right?
No.
West, Raiders.
Maybe it was no more.
I thought there was one more. Maybe NFC we got to look at?
No, I'm not thinking NFC.
Yeah.
Just go back to San Francisco.
Yeah.
I wonder if they must not be offering him a contract.
I think the same thing. There's no way. If he sits there and they have $25 million on the table for him, he says no. I mean, that's just pretty stubborn.
And then you can't bridge the gap from if he wants 30. Let's just say it's 30.
Yeah.
You can't bridge the gap from 25 to 27.
No. Listen, this guy just had the best year of his career by far. What do you have, 1,300 yards, something like that? He's 26 years old. He could make a Hall of Fame resume if he wants, if he stays in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, things could work out. He could end up going...
Oh, Washington,
yes. Good pull.
Washington.
Good pull. That was the other team. You're right. All the rumors with the Jaden Daniels.
He's obsessed with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Washington was the other team.
Yeah, go there, Brandon.
But really, like, you have the opportunity to really build a legacy here and maximize your career. I would imagine they're not offering him anything.
Or it's disrespectful.
Or it's slap in the face, exactly. Or he's just unhappy. Who knows?
But I don't think he's showing up to camp dapping up Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch
No.
if it's a slap in the face
right.
offer.
Because but you got to remember, like, all these guys have different personalities. So, like, is he a guy where, especially receivers, we know how much of divas they are. Is he a guy that he doesn't care how the team's doing? He cares mostly about himself and, being the center of attention around the offense. Does he not like that Kittle maybe takes some touches away from him, and Debo and CMC? That could be a possibility.
Also, they could be saying to him, like, listen, we need to figure out Trent first, and they're being upfront with him.
Right.
And when we get this done, then our attention is on you.
Right.
And whether or not we get something done with you.
Right.
And maybe they could bridge the gap. What kind of contract is he on? He signed it. Is he still on a rookie deal? Or
He's still on a rookie deal, yeah.
They could also say to him, hey, you know what? You don't want to go to New England. You don't want to go to Cleveland. You don't want to go to Pittsburgh.
Right. So what are we supposed to do with you?
You say, okay, you're due $14 million this year. That's what the last year of the contract is. You're a free agent next year. We'll bump this up. We'll give you a pay raise. We'll add a crap ton of incentives into it. You play this year. You have the same exact year you did, and go test the market and come back to us if you really want to come back. But go test the market. Go see what you can get.
Yep. Unfortunately, with the way this sport works and the players, how strong the unions are, and everybody with the reset in the markets and all that stuff, he's not going to buy on that.
We are seeing the player empowerment in the NFL with the receivers, and I guess the quarterbacks too.
The running backs
really,
hasn't worked.
It's never going to work with the running backs.
It's those poor running backs.
But you are seeing that same player empowerment that you saw in the NBA now in the NFL, especially with the receivers.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's fascinating.
He should just stay.
He's a good player.
He's a very good player, but he should just, like we said, he should stay.
Can he be a number one? Can he be the number one option on a team?
Yes.
Like, Sauce is guarding him.
I would rate him as to be like if we're just going based off of who would you want on your team, and that's it. I would rate him a top 15 receiver in the NFL.
Okay. Interesting. You know who's probably a top 3 receiver?
I would take him. I'm sorry. I know you're about to say. Are you going to? Please tell me you're going to say CeeDee Lamb and not Malik Nabers.
Yes.
Okay. Thank God.
Soon it'll be Malik Nabers.
I would take him over like a DK Metcalf.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah.
I really would.
Interesting. This will be Malik Nabers one day. The comparison I'm thinking for Malik Nabers is CeeDee Lamb. Anyway. A top 3 receiver in the league is CeeDee Lamb. He's unbelievable. We're going to talk about the Cowboys here, America's team, because they're all over the place. I don't understand what they're like. I just don't understand what they're doing.
Me neither.
Like, it's have a good roster. I know the money situation is like all hell because you have 3 players at the top of their game all ready for contracts and they're getting paid a crap ton. But it's like, can you spend the necessary money not only on these guys but around the team?
Right.
It seems as though they're being cheap.
They are being extremely cheap. And like, what is the plan here? Because Dak Prescott is asking for money. Love got paid. Tua got paid. Like, all right, they're up. Trevor Lawrence got paid. Everybody got paid.
I wouldn't pay Dak right now.
Why not?
I wouldn't pay Dak right now. I'd let him hit the open market.
I think that's insane.
But I guess maybe it's going to be
But if you're
more,
if you're not going to pay Dak right now, fine. Pay CeeDee. You're going to let both of them hit the open market?
No, they have to pay CeeDee.
Like, what is the plan? So if your plan is to, you know what, Dak, he's put up the good numbers. He's had a good run here, but at the end of the day, he hasn't gotten us close to a Super Bowl. He doesn't, perform well in the playoffs, whatever you want to say about him. And I would argue some other points to say it's not all on him, and the Cowboys have had some pretty putrid defensive performances and whatnot. If you're going to go that route to say, you know what, we don't want to pay you, Dak, go hit the open market, we're cool with letting you walk, wouldn't you want to keep your number one alpha wide receiver, top 3 receiver in the league, maybe the best receiver in the league, and have that guy sitting there for your new quarterback that you bring in next year, whether it's a rookie, whether it's a trade, whether it's a free agent signing, whatever it is?
He's gone. Dak is gone. Yes, they should pay CD.
If Dak is gone, he's the biggest quarterback to hit the open market since Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but he's been paid a lot more than Kirk.
I
saw $70 million today, which is not going to happen
in an open market scenario, though. Like, okay, let's draw out a scenario here. Daniel Jones spits the bit this year. Giant. What the hell was that?
Felt like
garbage truck or something.
No, this all shook just now. I thought we were having another earthquake.
That was terrifying. Daniel Jones craps the bed this year. Sucks, right? He's on his way out. Giants are going after him, right?
Giants are going after him.
Giants are 100% going after him.
Yes, a lot of money coming
Another team had Will Levis spits the bit, looks terrible this year.
Mm-hmm.
Titans need a quarterback, right? I could go down the list of other teams. Geno Smith sucks, whatever. Teams need quarterbacks. You don't think he's going to get $70 million or 60-something plus?
I think 60. What's Love getting, 55?
Love's getting 55. I think 60. 70, okay, fine. I'll draw the line. It's 70 is a little too much.
But
he will clear being the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yes. But how many quarterbacks, and I genuinely don't know the answer, are up for a contract right now into next season? And who would Jerry Jones
like to hit the open market?
Yeah, like who would they be competing with? Not even hit the open market.
How many teams would be able to sign him and not have to get rid of a current contract that their quarterback has?
Who are you competing against in this scenario? Because listen, the Giants, if the scenario that you just said happens, Jones is not good. He's not even worth the $40 million anymore, which is becoming a mid-level quarterback.
Right.
Contract. He's not even worth that anymore. They get rid of him. Yeah, the Giants are 100% in.
Yeah. What about the Steelers?
The Steelers are in.
Steelers could 100% be in. I mean, we're just going down the list right here. Listen,
it's a lot.
Of a quarterback of his caliber, you could have a lot of teams that make room.
So then were you not paying Micah?
You're not. You got to not pay one of these guys, I guess.
So who are you not paying? Because in their scenario is they're gonna say we haven't won with. Listen, I think Dak is a top 7 quarterback in the league. You're gonna say we have this superstar in CD, we have this superstar in Micah. Let's try and reset our quarterback market and go get a quarterback on the cheap in the draft.
Are we sure that they can't afford all 3? Because I mean, it seems these days these teams can afford anything.
I guess they could. I don't really know.
The Chiefs can afford Kelsey, Jones, and Mahomes.
Yeah, but are the Cowboys working around the cap like everybody else is?
Well, it's hard to tell because it seems like any team these days just gets to restructure whatever they want. I genuinely don't know what point you get to where you're like, okay, we're out of restructures. Like, we actually cannot pay this dude.
It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible to actually know what is on the cap because of signing bonuses and things like that.
These team accountants must be like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore.
Let's just view it like from, I guess, the contract they'll get, right? So what's CD going to get? $32 million, right?
What did Justin Jefferson get?
I think 32.
Yeah, so more than that.
Let's look.
If he gets 4 years, $140 million is what Justin Jefferson got. So he's going to get 4 years, $145 million.
Okay. So what is that a year? I'm not doing the math.
That is 32 and no, that's $35 million a year. 4 years, 140 is $35 million a year.
Yes. Okay. So it's $35 million a year. So
he's getting at least that.
So we have to think, and I'm looking at the cap hit. Sport Track actually does a really good job of this. So his cap hit last year was $8 million. Jefferson. His cap hit this year is 15. His cap hit in 26 is 39.
39.
And then in 2027 it's 43. So okay, either way. So let's just say he's getting $35 million a year. So obviously CD will beat that. CD beats that. Great. What's Micah getting? What did Bosa get?
$35 million a year, probably.
Okay, I think it was 30. I think Bosa was an even 30. But let's see. 5 years, 170.
Slightly over
34 million a year. Okay, so he's getting 35 plus. So what's 35 plus 35 is 70 plus 50, 120. That's $120 million a year to 3 players. This is the New York Yankees in football, except with a cap.
So what would you do? I would pay Dak. Oh God, I would pay Dak and Micah and let CD go.
That's where I'm leaning, but I want to see what Dak does this season. Not that I'm questioning his talent and where he is in terms of rankings, but if Dak has another fantastic season where he's, top 5 at MVP voting, he was 2 last year. If he has one of those and he's healthy, that's also a little bit of a concern, right? Health, I think, with Dak. A little bit. Nothing major, but health.
Yeah.
He's healthy. He plays well. Maybe we don't want to go down the road of being in quarterback hell.
But maybe I'm just coming at this from a Jet fan QB misery perspective, but we got to remember it's not easy to just find elite quarterbacks. However you want to say Dak is overrated or whatnot, he's an elite quarterback at the end of the day. There are not 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that could do what Dak Prescott does.
How about this for you?
There are not 16 quarterbacks in the NFL that could do what Dak Prescott does.
Completely agree with you. Chances are, right, Mike McCarthy doesn't have a future right now with the team.
The fact that Mike McCarthy is still in the building, I think, is crazy.
It's fascinating.
Bill Belichick should be wearing a blue star on his chest.
So I agree with you, and I'm happy he's not right now, but I completely agree with you. So here's the thing. Maybe they're not making a decision on one of these guys before potentially a new coach comes in and has a completely different philosophy, even though it is Steven and Jerry Jones making these decisions.
I was about to say, isn't it at the end of the day the Jerry Jones philosophy?
But if they hire Bill Belichick, obviously Belichick's going to have a say in what happens. If they hire, I don't know, Lincoln Riley, whoever, a big-time coach like that, which maybe they won't do because they don't want to have to share the decision-making. But if they do go out there and bring in a big-time head coach, he's going to have say in who they re-sign, who they don't.
Yes.
That's potential.
If I was that coach coming in, it depends who the coach is. But if I'm a head coach stepping into the Dallas Cowboys position as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I would want to have Dak Prescott as my quarterback. You really want to step into that seat as a Lincoln Riley, as somebody like that, as the head coach of the most popular football team in the world, and say, we don't know who our quarterback is.
Where are they in the draft? Do they have a good season? Do they make the playoffs?
So now you're going to mortgage potential future picks and do not a rebuild, but kind of what the 49ers wanted to do with Lance. Trade up to that top 3 spot, get a good quarterback, give up future picks, and put him in a great team right away.
Yes and no.
Funny part is they have Trey Lance.
They do have Trey Lance. He's the future there.
He's the future.
They're going to re-sign CD and obviously Mike. And he's the future.
Yeah.
No,
he's terrible. He's going to be out of the poor. I feel bad for the dude. He's going to be out of football.
Talk about the training camp propaganda. You saw those clips. I thought they were fake. To be honest with you.
There is truly no way of telling, and I don't know. I think we're getting better with it, but with quarterbacks, I was thinking about Trey Lance. The knock on him coming out of college was small school, but Carson Wentz came from the same one. Carson Wentz almost won an MVP, technically won a Super Bowl. I mean, he was hurt, but his team won the Super Bowl.
Nick Foles retired today.
Nick Foles did retire. Josh Allen went to Wyoming. That was a big critique for him. Small school, it's not going to work out. It worked out. Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, small schools, problems.
Well, I think that year's kind of an aberration because of that year scouting and COVID and whatnot. That was a tough year. But it's so important to have the coaching because We might even see it this year with your boy Sam Darnold. You know, if Sam Darnold went to a certain situation when he was drafted, we don't know what Sam Darnold's career would have been like. So it's also the luck of the draw where you go, not only the players, but the stability of the organization and
I would say
the coach you go to.
How about this? I would say there are about, I don't know what ratios to give, what percentages of the league are like this, but there are a certain group of quarterbacks where they are so good, it doesn't really matter where you put them. Now, they may not get to an MVP level, but they'll still be a very productive, good player no matter where you put them.
I think it's a handful.
It's a handful, 100%. Then you have that group in the middle where, okay, if you put this guy in a good situation, he could be a really good quarterback. If you put him in a bad situation, he could be a really bad quarterback. Mm-hmm. And then you have guys like Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and whoever, where it doesn't matter where you put them, they just suck.
And a lot of the league is situation.
Yeah.
And it's tough to tell who's on that border and who's not.
I think it's pretty easy in terms of, like, scouting-wise, yes, very difficult. But to ask guys in the league right now, group them in certain categories, I feel like we say it's hard to tell, but at the end of the day, you kind of can tell.
Okay, here's a perfect example. Is Baker Mayfield a product of whatever Dave Canales was doing last year? Or was Baker legitimately, because it's obviously not
Baker
Bowles.
Is good situation, he could be a good quarterback. Bad situation, he could be a bad quarterback.
Okay. That was a good, so we're saying that
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, obviously, doesn't matter where you put them.
I think Herbert, too.
They're still going to be very good players. Herbert, yeah. They're still going to be very good players. Now, the part where we could maybe get in a gray area and be like, I don't know, actually. Jalen Hurts. Do we know for sure? Do we know for sure?
Shane Steichen carried his ass.
Nah, but like, really, do we know?
Yeah, it's tough.
Tua to me is like
the definition.
The definition of that.
Yes.
Jared Goff, right?
Yes.
Same thing.
Ben Johnson. Yeah. Jalen. Oh, they're so fascinating.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Really
I can't wait to watch the Eagles play this year.
Really are.
That might be clipped by our friends. I don't care. I can't wait to see the downfall of the Philadelphia Eagles this year, potentially. Potential downfall.
We'll see.
Cowboys, what the hell are they doing? All right, you want to talk about Malik Nabers? We can talk about Malik Nabers. I mean, you know, the one thing I'll say about Nabers is I said this when I did a Merlot minute last week for 36 minutes. A
36 Merlot minute.
I didn't need the training camp videos against a poor Giants secondary to tell me this guy's going to be a star.
Can we get that written down? Poor Giants secondary.
Yeah.
You get that written down?
Poor Giants secondary. I think Banks is going to be a good player, but the rest of it is kind of poor at the moment.
Right.
So I didn't need that, right? Like, you know, the guy is super athletic. He should be doing this. And even against the Lions, you know, a better secondary. Okay, it was very impressive what he was doing, and I'm getting excited. But I'm just genuinely excited about the guy.
Yeah. Let me just say this. He is if I could build a receiver, like, he fits into that mold of like what I would want my number one receiver to look like. I really do think like this guy, I'm going to keep using the same comparison. He's going to be Garrett Wilson. He is going to be a guy that he has a really good season. He could win Offensive Rookie of the Year, show you really, really good things. You know he has the talent. There's no doubt about it. He's just not exactly going to put up these wow numbers because there's going to be poor offensive play and poor quarterback play. Now, I don't know. Daniel Jones obviously has shown he could be a mediocre quarterback in this league. Yeah. He's not Zach Wilson where he's terrible. But I do think that he's going to end up being like the only real bright spot on this Giants offense. Like real bright spot. Like, yeah, Wandale could have a nice year. Yeah, Hyatt, we could see some things out of him. Who knows? Singletary could be solid. But like truly a guy like, wow, we need that guy on our team for the next 5, 10, whatever years. That'll be Malik Nabers.
Yeah, you know, you mentioned before that you've seen like all this Giant stuff on your Twitter, and like obviously my Twitter is just it's loaded with Giants stuff and Giants content, especially from this week with the joint practices from the Lions. And you know, even early in training camp, like, you know, you had the memes of Jones missing guys or whatever. The guy's coming off an ACL. I mean, listen, I don't think he's Joe Burrow, but you know, he's coming off an ACL injury, and he's gotten better as practice has gone on. But I don't know. Like, I am feeling this sense of, and I'm not saying they're a playoff team. by any stretch of the imagination. This is not me saying they're a playoff team, but the past week or so, I'm starting to say hey, maybe they're not as bad as people think.
Well, okay, first of all, I would say don't let the propaganda get to your head. But second of all, one thing that I think is very true is we got to remember, and I'm going to keep this in mind when we do our predictions for, the standings and whatnot. The NFL is not a year-to-year league. And no league really is, but especially the NFL, it really is not a year-to-year league. You only play 16 games. There's only a certain amount of games that go, we know about the Vikings of 2 years ago with the one possession games, and, anything can happen late in games and outcomes can flip. So the Giants had a lot of things go the wrong way for them last year.
Everything went the wrong way.
They really did, health-wise, just a lot of stuff just went haywire. And credit to Daboll, they were able to still somewhat keep it together and not win 2 games, right?
He gets from people around the league. When you hear people talk about Daboll, and I'm fascinated by this, people in the league, coaches, executives, they actually praise him for the year they had last year.
Yeah, I mean, especially the start they had. I mean, it was really, really bad. And then to have the Tommy DeVito story and that whole thing was impressive. Fundamentally, just looking at this team, the offense is going to struggle. The offensive line is going to have issues. Thomas is great. The offensive line is going to have issues. Daniel Jones, let's remember, it's Daniel Jones. They're going to struggle. I do think the Giants' ceiling is, they could be the 2022 Giants. They could win 9 games, 10 games, if things really go well.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's a perfect world.
But realistically, I would take them to. I've cooled off a little on the hate of the Giants to say they're going to be a 3-win team. That's crazy. But I would pencil them in for 6 or 7 wins.
Yeah, I think they're anywhere from a 6 to 8 win ball club. That's how I see them at the moment. The one thing I'll push back on the offensive line. When Thomas plays the last couple of years, they're at average when he's healthy. And listen, he's had health concerns now. That's an issue. When he is healthy, they're a mediocre offensive line where it's not great, but there are times where you're not complaining about them. In 22, they were 17th, 18th. It wasn't great, but it's they got to the postseason, they won games. I think they could be that again. I think they could be the 15th, 16th ranked offensive line in the league. I don't think that's absolutely crazy. God willing, he's healthy.
They also benefited from a pretty weak NFC in 2022.
They did.
I don't know if we're going to have the same weak NFC again. The NFC could be weak again because we're talking about the Cowboys. Look at your own division. We're talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about the Eagles. Who knows what the hell's going to be going on with that.
You're closer to
the division is weak, but Green Bay's on the rise now. Who knows what Chicago is going to look like? Rookie year with Caleb Williams. They have a good roster. Detroit, I don't think is going anywhere. We know about San Francisco. We know about LA. The Cardinals could be a dark horse team. Seahawks could bounce back.
I like
Falcons got Kirk. Buccaneers are a team that made it to the divisional round last year.
After that, I'm good. I'm good off them. No, the NFC's better than they were in. I'm not disagreeing. And again, I don't think the Giants are going to the playoffs and having a 22 miracle run. I don't think that's happening.
Training camp propaganda. I'm
excited. I think these receivers are going to be good. I was so negative on Hyatt. We both agree Wan'Dale's a weapon. He's a good player. I think we both agree on that. He could be. He's a gadget guy. He runs great routes. Whatever. I'm starting to think Hyatt's actually going to be a player. I don't know.
Now
I'm starting to think Hyatt might be a player.
Now you're really letting it get to your head.
I know.
And I'm not even saying you're wrong. Hyatt could turn out to be a good player, but I could just tell the way you're talking about it and the look in your eyes now. You're letting it get to your head. You're letting it get to your head.
Giants 100th season.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Well, they're going to get off to a bad start with those freaking disgusting jerseys that they're wearing. And don't sit here and tell me, they're coming around on me because they are disgusting.
No, I don't.
They are so gross.
See, I don't think listen, it's ugly. I don't think the jersey is the worst part. The pants are for me.
The helmet is brutal.
I don't hate the helmet.
It looks like Michigan, but just with bad color schemes.
I don't hate the helmet. The
Giants need to do
the Jets did.
They need to do what the Jets did. Listen to the fans. Just make your legacy jerseys your real jerseys, and everybody will love them. Those are some of the most beautiful jerseys in the entire league.
They really are.
Make that the regular jerseys.
Well, it's funny because they did that. All the Giant fans were complaining yesterday. Do what the Jets did because they released the schedule of when they're wearing the jerseys. And they're wearing the Legacies once. They're wearing the dumbass red and blue ones once, whatever. They got to start out 2-0. If you want the dream season to happen, then you got to go 2-0 to start. Vikings, Washington. We'll talk more about them as we get closer. JM, Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Are we excited?
I'm
how
excited. Can we not be?
I'm excited. I'm really
Listen,
excited.
when was the last time you had a rookie quarterback with this much hype come into an offense that has this much firepower on it?
I don't think you've ever.
Right?
I don't think you've
we're talking about a guy who is, we've talked about Lawrence, we've talked about Andrew Luck, we've talked about Peyton Manning. We made those comparisons of these hyped up prospects when they come in. Burrow was in that category too.
Sure.
I mean, Caleb Williams, A, you could say was maybe the most hyped out of all those guys, and B, his situation. What did Trevor Lawrence come into?
Not this.
Not this. So what are we looking at here? Joe Burrow came in with, okay, they drafted T. Higgins. All right, yeah, they had Tyler Boyd there. They had some C.J. Uzoma. They had Joe Mixon. Okay. Keenan Allen's going to be a Hall of Famer. DJ Moore might be on his way to being a Hall of Famer. They just drafted Rome Odunze in the first round. Cole Kmet's a good tight end. DeAndre Swift is a good running back.
I think it's really interesting because you're obviously going to have growing pains, right, with a rookie quarterback, and there's going to be things that happen, things that pop up. And if you watched Hard Knocks this week, they had Nick Saban in there for a couple of minutes on the screen, and I'm sure he talked to the team. And he was telling Eberflus, the pressure is the biggest thing for these quarterbacks. It's everything getting to their head. And, for Caleb, he has so much talent. We don't think that's going to be an issue. But in the first season in the NFL, it's completely different, speed that you're playing at. Would it shock you if a couple of games went haywire and, this really talented team that maybe they could have won 10, actually won 8, and they missed the playoffs?
No.
I mean, that's a possibility. So it's tough to predict them to go to the playoffs. They're loaded. One thing I'll give Eberflus credit for, the defense played really well down the stretch in 23. So that's a plus on Eberflus. But I'm watching Hard Knocks, and I can just tell.
Yeah.
This guy's not this guy is not an NFL head coach. And the fact that polls actually allowed him to be part of this season with Caleb Williams is it's actually an indictment on Ryan Pace.
Yeah, I get the same vibes of the Hard Knocks back when the Bucs were on Hard Knocks with Jameis Winston when he was young in his career and they had Dirk Cutter as their coach. It kind of felt like the same thing. You were like, all right, does this guy really know what he's doing? To me, the Bears, you hit the nail right on the head. They're insane to be going through what Justin Fields went through. To have kept the head coach this offseason when you knew you were bringing in this brand new offense with this brand new shiny toy as your quarterback, he must be 100% sure, yes, Matt Eberflus can develop a young player to be an elite quarterback. Because to bring a guy in where Eberflus, if they don't do well this year, if things go haywire, like you said, he's out. And now you're talking about your second year in the league. You're already on your second head coach.
If they're 4-7 at some point, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. 2-5.
Mm-hmm.
Bang. Yeah. You had an opportunity to start fresh with this kid.
Yep.
You had the opportunity. And he said no.
And unfortunately, when you bring in that rookie head coach with the second year quarterback, yes, the head coach is the coach to the player, but it sort of creates this imbalance in the timeline where the head coach is trying to develop the young player, but the head coach is the one who's the rookie.
Right. That's a tough situation. He should have gotten rid of him. He doesn't. He looks like a clown speaking to the team. He doesn't have conviction in his voice, at least on camera. I don't know how he is off camera, but Hard Knocks is good at getting that camera in there. And
it's funny. I love when WFAN Michael comes out a little bit. This is you being crazy overreaction, though. I agree. When he came on the camera and he was talking, it looked like. I was like, this is supposed to be like
the Muppets.
Get me fired up speech. Yeah, it was like that.
It was like, and I got the same sense from Hackett last year on Hard Knocks. Yeah. Everybody did. The guy was like a clown. Yeah. At least Saleh. I can't stand Robert Saleh. But at least Saleh, like you could tell, he could fire guys up.
Yeah.
This guy can't fire, anybody, a group of fifth graders up.
Yeah, no.
Come on. Gonna keep this guy for Caleb Williams and his all-time team that you're gonna put together for the next 3 years.
They could be. They are like holding a match up to a gas stove. This offense. They could be absolutely incredible.
And I happen to like the offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron.
Yeah,
I happen to like him, but he got Geno going.
They could also light up too much and blow up. They could be, if the Chicago Bears offense ranked anywhere from 25th to 3rd in the NFL, I would not be surprised.
And this guy actually turned around Geno Smith's career. So
yeah.
We'll see.
We
but
will.
It's impossible to try and predict. All right, JM, you want to play a little trivia game here?
I am very down, Michael. How much time we got?
We got like 7 minutes.
Oh, we're good.
So we're gonna play this game where we rank. So we're gonna give the fantasy ranking of the skill position players from 2023 and try and guess the team. A lot of fantasy content this year with us. We'll definitely get that kicking in the next episode. Like we mentioned before, it is. I mean, it's not early, but it's early for me at least with fantasy.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and guess the team based on the ranking from last season. The player doesn't have to be on that team. I think we'll specify at some point if we can't guess it. Mm-hmm. But JM, I will let you go. You will guess first. I will give you the rankings first. Okay?
Sounds good, Michael.
All right. So you want quarterback?
I want down the list. Quarterback,
okay.
Running back, wide receiver.
You want everything.
I want everything.
At once.
Everything at once. All right.
I'll stop after the quarterback.
All
running back. All right. So we got the quarterback. He's ranked 10th. The running back is ranked 4th. You want the receiver? One receiver?
Hold on. Is this the LA Rams?
This is not the LA Rams.
Okay, go ahead.
The wide receiver 2 is 28th. The wide receiver 1 is 7th.
This is a nice offense.
It's a good team. This is a solid offense.
QB 10, RB 4, wide receiver 1 was 7th.
Tight end 20.
Is this the Philadelphia Eagles?
This is not the Philadelphia Eagles. You said it was a good team.
Okay. Tight end was 20th. All right, so tight end is irrelevant.
Yeah, tight end's irrelevant here.
It's not the Texans because Joe Mixon was not RB4 last year. Who were the best running backs in fantasy last year? Breece Hall was up there, but not the Jets. Kyron Williams, I said. McCaffrey, no. McCaffrey was RB1 last year.
I stumped you.
Is it? It's not the Jaguars.
No, because I was using the Jaguars and you said
yes,
no.
and I looked at your screen. Wow. Okay. Let's try to think here.
So I'm trying to think.
Good.
Of a hint
Hold
I
on.
can give
Good running
you.
back. Jonathan Taylor did not play enough last year.
It was. It's not like a star at running back. Like
it's a fantasy star though.
But he's a really solid player. Not the biggest name. And it didn't come out of like complete nowhere because he was ranked high, but it was like, it's still kind of surprising he actually had the year they thought.
It's not Miami because
No.
Tyreek Hill was higher than that. I'm thinking Mostert.
Consistency at that position, the one you just mentioned, the receiver one. Consistent.
Oh, is this the Lions?
No.
Wow. Okay. I thought that was Amon-Ra you were talking about because he was very consistent last year.
I'm talking about over a long period of time.
Mike Evans.
Yep.
This is the Bucks.
This is the Bucks.
Wow, yeah. Rashad White was the RB4 last
best
year.
running back last year.
Okay.
That's not who you chose.
That is not who I chose.
Good.
No.
Let's
okay.
go.
Michael.
I'm ready to go.
The starting quarterback for my team. QB 54.
Jesus.
Starting running back, RB 37. The starting wide receivers, wide receiver 33. Hold on, it's being a little slow. Wide receiver 23. And then the tight end is 4th.
All right. Let's take.
So let me take one guess if you want.
I was gonna say Pittsburgh, but it's not because Wilson wasn't that bad last year.
Okay. So this is a big hint that I'll give you because I know this is kind of mean right now. It sounds mean, but
4th.
So the wide receiver 33
was hurt.
Averaged 20 points a game.
Okay.
He was hurt. He would be way up if he stayed healthy.
All right. Well, let's think of
That I feel like is a very good hint,
let's think
and I
of
don't need to give you much more.
big time receivers that were hurt last year. Tyreek was not hurt last year.
Tyreek was not hurt.
Tyreek was great
No,
last
Tyreek
year.
was good.
Oh. The a-hole that had the number 1 overall pick last year. Me. Justin Jefferson was hurt last year.
Justin Jefferson was hurt last year.
Quarterback 54. There's a lot. Did Darnold play a couple games last year? He did to get him a ranking. Is it the Vikings?
It is the Minnesota Vikings. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Yep.
That's a big hint there.
Aaron Jones was RB 30, whatever. He was hurt. It's a team that
had a lot of injuries.
Health wise, if they were healthy, this would have been like what you gave me, like a good besides Darnold, but a good
Darnold this year.
But Hawkinson, Jones, and Jefferson.
I didn't even think about the tight. What was the tight end again?
Tight end 4, Hawkinson.
Yeah, right. That could have gave it away.
And he got hurt.
He
was doing really well.
Is he a top 5 tight end this year?
He's right outside, I think. Yeah, actually, no, he's definitely outside.
They have
Laporta, Kelsey, Kincaid, McBride, and Mark Andrews.
I'm all over Kincaid.
Everybody's all over Kincaid.
I'm all over Kincaid.
You're not hiding by saying you're all over Kincaid.
God, I love Dalton Kincaid this year.
Doing tricks.
That's my guy. Them and the Bills, man. Right now.
How's our time, dude? We go over?
Yeah, no, not yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking Bills Packers right now.
Wow. We're gonna bash heads all season long about the Bills.
Well, I think we are. Just like we bashed heads about the Dolphins last
year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the same exact thing.
But it's not any disrespect against the Jets.
No,
because I think the Jets can be really good.
Okay, I'm getting my get back though because I was wrong about Miami last year. I ended up kind of being right. Like they kind of were overrated at the end of the year, anyways.
Yeah, because they can't play in the cold.
Yeah,
that's a problem. You can't play in the cold late in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to do it here for episode 138. It's actually not even titled on my computer right now, so that's good. It just says untitled right now.
Good.
But that'll do it. A lot of football, no time for baseball. Mets back? Who knows? But as the season winds down, obviously we have some baseball and really kicking up the football content as, like we said before, we're both incredibly excited for this season.
Yes.
And the Jets. I cannot wait to watch the Jets.
I know.
I can't.
I'm gonna have my eyes closed for the first 4 plays in San Francisco.
Oh, please. That's right. You're going.
Yeah.
You pumped?
I am pumped, and I'm in the middle of an argument with Jack because Oakland Athletics, like it's the last year that they're at the.
Oh, you gotta go.
I need to go to A's Tigers on Friday.
You gotta go.
Get $30 tickets, sit freaking second level right behind home plate.
Might be a little more expensive. Is it more expensive?
It's going up by the day.
Yeah, because the last 2 games there, gotta go see. You
I
gotta
want to go. I have to go. Like I'm dead serious. Like I
what
really
else
want to
go
go
on a Friday night.
Nothing.
A's Tigers.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Go. Jack, go. Come on. What the hell are we doing?
Smart
All right.
up.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Next week.
No, you're on vacation.
I'm on vacation again.
So the next episode, we're going to be close.
Full blown. More 10.
Yeah.
We're going to be really close.
We're going to be close.
Yeah.
It's going to be like an episode and then like NFL season preview.
Yeah. Well, we'll already know that Malik Nabers is one rookie of the year the next time we.
Right.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, guys. Talk to you next time.